Hello, hello. I know it's gonna be a little weird because I have the headphones on, and I usually only use them when I'm in the woods. But I'm actually sitting in the porch. So I put them on just in case to try to lower, I guess, like the surrounding sounds. I actually want to show you guys something real cool. Let me see if I can do it without disturbing too much. See that? It's a prime mantis or whatever it's called. This is the second time I get one right in front of my front door. The last one was a few months ago, actually. And I think I shared it with somebody. Anyways, guys, thank you and welcome back to Dream Queen. Perla here. Haha. I wanted to talk. It's just staring at me. I love it. Like I want to stare back at it. And I know that they stare to observe, to see if you're like a threat or something like that. But it's just like it was facing the other way when I first came out. I was facing the door, and then like when I sat here, it like followed me. It was so cute. Anyways, I wanted to talk about, like the past few weeks. I know that, especially last week, we all had a very good, rough week. And I say good because I am hoping that a lot of people actually learned a lot about themselves and about energies that are not theirs. So if we backtrack about 3 weeks ago, um, let's just say I dealt with something very personal. I lost a soul that was living inside of me. And I was home and I dealt with it, meaning I allow myself to feel the grief and I allow myself to cry, to feel vulnerable, to feel everything, and then I released it to God because I knew that there was a reason for it. It wasn't the first time; it's happened before. So about a week, less than a week later, somebody that is very dear and close to me went through the same thing. She does not have any kids, so it really took her down really bad. But instead of dealing with it, I could immediately tell, like a couple of days later, that she thinks, in my opinion, that she let it go, but she suppressed it down. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because the following days, the type of conversations we were having, it was coming out. And I tried to bring it to her attention, but it was shut down, so I couldn't do any more than that. At that point, it is up to her and God to deal with it. So then the following week comes around, and I'm like, okay, I have to pay my light bill. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what am I do because I have this much and I have to pay that much. So it comes up to like a Tuesday. This was like 2 weeks ago, and I wanted everybody to understand. I'm not sharing this for pity or for praise. I'm sharing this so that we can come to the understanding that we are all going through something. But if we don't heal ourselves and we don't deal with things as they come along, then we are not able to help others. So I go ahead and I wake up one day, and I remember the night before I had made a couple of videos that I had not released. And I wake up literally as they shut off the light. They literally shut off my light. And I'm standing here, I'm like, okay, um, money, it's not that I have an issue with making money, is that I had an issue when I had to leave work. Um, as a nurse, I can go in to a place and say, I want this much, and I will not take less than what I feel I deserve. But when I had to leave, I'm sorry, I was just looking at our little friend today. But as I had to leave work and, almost 2 years out of work and fighting disability, which I think is stupid because I paid into disability. But nor here nor there, it is what it is. It's a system. So I remember, because I remember that I had to pay the light the day before and I didn't have enough. So I remember that I had checked my bank account that morning. And if you know anything about banks, they make their transactions when they make deposits and things like that around between 3 and 6 in the morning. So I remember I had checked my bank account at 6 in the morning and I still didn't have enough. I had money, but I didn't have enough to pay what I had to pay. And as I'm sitting there, I'm talking to one of my sisters on the phone. And I'm standing and I look inside my house and I see the kitchen like going off, and I'm like, okay, they shut off the light. And I'm like, and immediately I wanted to tell her what had happened, but she was venting and whatever. So I was like, okay. And then I hear this voice, do you trust me? And I'm like, yes. And it's like, check your bank account. And immediately I was going to say, but, and I was like, okay, no buts. I checked my bank account. I started laughing. She's like, what's so funny? I was like, oh, nothing, something I read. And I just laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And I told her this a couple of days later. So I go ahead, and it was more than what I needed, obviously. So I go ahead and I call, and within 2 hours, my light would turn back on. So then the next week comes. Again, the same thing. Because when you're living on a certain budget that you're not used to, it's hard to get accustomed to it. And I've had almost 2 years to get used to it, and I still can't, because financially, this is not where I was when I was working. So I like, okay, I gotta pay my phone bill. And I had the money, and I was like, oh, I'll just pay it tomorrow because I have until like noon or whatever. And then something came out of the account, like one of those automatic payments. And when I went to pay my phone, I didn't have enough. So I immediately went ahead and I emailed people that I knew that I was going to be contacting with. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to like acknowledge that my phone is off. I'm just going to go take a nap. And I went and I took a nap, and I had to, because I had to deal with the other individual who had just had a miscarriage. I was trying to, without her knowing it, to try like to ease the pain and stuff. So after that, I went ahead and I took a nap. And when I woke up, I get an email from a very dear friend of mine that I see at the dog park all the time. And he's like, huh. He's like, I missed you at the park this morning, and I called you and your phone was shut off. He's like, meet me now. I was like, sure. So we went ahead and we met at Walmart. And he doesn't even know how much I pay for my phone bill. But again, he gave me more than enough. And this is not about telling people that you should go out for charity. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that your basic needs will be covered one way or another. And I mean, this person and I, him and I, like, we have deep soul conversations. I try and help like shift his energy. I really do try. And we're constantly talking about like life in general. So again, I was like, okay. Fast forward to the weekend. I have to pay my car insurance. Now, when you're on a budget of, what is it that comes into me monthly until I go to court? It's like, I don't even know, like about 1,200 a month. I used to make more than that in a week as a nurse. So you can imagine what I'm talking about when I'm talking about I had to cut down a lot. So I'm like, okay, here we go again. No car insurance. Um, I have money, but I don't have enough. I'm like, okay, I guess we're walking for the next few days. Um, didn't really have to go get anything. Didn't have to drive anywhere far. So the only place I had to walk was the bus stop, it is a little further. It's not like right down the hill. It's about like a 10-minute walk. So all this time, I'm not telling my kids anything. I'm like, oh, we're gonna go ahead. I will pick them up walking if it wasn't, raining or whatever. And okay. And again, do you trust me? And I'm like, yep. Boom. I get a donation, and thank you very much. You know who you are. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And it's like, if you allow yourself to be used by God, source, or universe, as you're building your faith, your unconditional faith, and your unconditional faith to God, and your unconditional love to everyone, things slowly, they start to show you. They start to reveal. So, with that being said, the entire time I was going through all of these things in the past 3 weeks, um, didn't affect, in an essence, the me posting, me giving the warnings, me responding to emails, me responding to text messages, me taking my time to talk to people, me taking my time to listen to people. And then today I went, after I dropped off the little ones at school, I went to the supermarket. And as I was getting there, there was this guy, this homeless guy. And when I saw his face, he reminded me of like a 13 or 14-year-old. And he had dreadlocks in his hair. And he was holding a sign that said, "Will work for food." And then at the bottom it said homeless. And I just felt like this immense pain. Like, this is what people are constantly going through. Like, are you kidding me? And I went ahead and I parked the car. And before I went in the supermarket, I went and I sat down with him. And no, this is not about how much I gave or if I gave or not. And I went and I sat on the cement floor with him with my blue cape and I fanned it out. I sat down with him and I was like, "Sweetie, how old are you?" And he looks at me and he tells me his age. And he was way older than what I thought. And I asked him, I was like, "Where are you from?" And we started talking and stuff. And we just talked. I didn't ask if I could pray for him. I was still praying for him inside my head, but I didn't ask. And I just sat there with him and we were just talking and talking and talking. And then I gave what I know I could without taking away from my family or myself. And tears just started flowing. And I told him, I was like, during like our lowest times is when we have to keep like our spirits up, because the material things can come and go, but the connections you make with people last a lifetime. So I guess I just wanted to say that when we're going through certain things, it is very easy to get overpowered by those negative emotions, negative energies. And it's not about, if it is something that is affecting you physically. So like when I went through and when I went through and when I went through, those were things that were directly impacting my home, my life, my body. So I dealt, when I say dealt, I didn't suppress them. I allow, excuse me, I allow myself to feel the emotion, to feel the pain, in order to release it and know that there was a reason why I went through each and one of those things. And this was in a course of 3, 4, 5, 6 months. This was in a course of what, 3 weeks? Like boom, boom, boom. Like I will recover, have like 3 or 4 a day, boom. Recover 3 or 4 a day, boom. Recover 3 or 4 a day, boom. And it was like, and it's like, okay, if you can handle all of this being thrown at you at once and dive in, release, and still help other people, that is what it's about. That is what all of this is about. It's about understanding or understanding that we all have problems. We all have issues. We all have circumstances. But are you willing to put the work in yourself at that specific moment and not suppress things, so that when somebody needs your assistance, whether it's just for a talk, whether they need to vent, whether they feel stuck, whether they need whatever it is, a cup of coffee, a hot chocolate, whatever it is, you are emotionally, mentally, and physically available to be able to help without holding on. Because when we hold on to our things, then we are not able to help other people, because we're so stuck on the things that happen or that just happened or that are happening. And the past for me is to look at and see what I went through, what did I learn, and how can I use what just happened to help other people. And then try and see if it can help someone either shift their perspective or get an understanding, like a better understanding of what is going on. So, again, I want to say thank you for hearing me rant, I guess. Um, oh, our thing left. And what is a prime mantis? And now I'm like looking for it, and it like just disappeared. Like, how can you walk or jump that fast? It's gone. No, where are you gone? Don't leave me. The last time it was seriously like sitting there for like hours. This time it wasn't because I just got home not that long ago. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Yes, I am aware I still have to do the air element. We'll be doing that most likely sometime tonight and releasing it tomorrow. Or sometime in the middle of the night. I really don't care. Like, it's just, it comes out when it comes out. It's been building up. I can tell you that. There's been a lot of stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And tomorrow is Halloween. So those of you that are going trick-or-treating with your kids, make sure that you guys stay safe and make sure you check your candy. And have fun. And I'll see you guys real soon. All of those that have reached out through emails, that I have comments that I have to get back to you. You know who you are. There's a couple of you. I will be doing so as soon as we are done with bedtime routine. Kids don't have to be asleep, but you know they have to be set. Have to be set, because when mommy gets to work, mommy's on working mode. Anyways, guys, thank you. I want to say I love you guys. No, seriously. I send unconditional love to all of you guys. Bye bye.